What's up, guys? Spin Firearms here, and no matter what I'm doing, no matter where I'm going, I'm always going to give you guys content. Now, my mom recently just purchased a camper on a private lot nearby where I live, about 50 minutes away. So that's where we are currently, but of course, I'm going to bring stuff, and I'm going to film, and we're going to keep the show rolling, right? So today we're going to touch on a handgun I've had for a while. Haven't really talked about much lately, but I haven't probably shot it for about a month or so, but my wife and I actually went out to the range, just her and I alone. We like doing that sort of thing every now and then just to, be by ourselves, shoot, and not film, honestly. I like being able to go shoot and enjoy myself and not always have to be on camera. So really enjoy those times with my wife. But one of the guns she likes, and one of the guns I wanted to bring, was the MC14 G84 by Girsan. Now, what is this handgun you see in front of me? It's actually a really, really nice piece for the price. And Girsan is one of those companies that, makes a lot of clones of different companies' models, but they add their own touch to it, change a couple things up, and it ends up being a pretty quality firearm, especially for the price. Now, a lot of people do not like firearms that are made in certain countries. This is actually made in Turkey. But guess what else is made in Turkey? A lot of your Canics. And there are also some pretty decent firearms coming out of Turkey. Now, everything is company related. You can buy a good quality handgun that's made in another country that you may not think makes good quality products. You can also buy a terrible product that's made in the US. For instance, like a SIG. Yeah, it's put together in the US, but all their internals come from like Indonesia, where stuff is just out of spec all over the place and so on. So never count out a firearm from where it's made. Anyways, this Girsan right here is 13 plus 1 of 380 ACP. And if I remember correctly, it is a 4-inch barrel. Now, notice the design. That's something I really like about it. It's like the perfect size carry gun for a lot of people, which I'll show you. Here's a Glock 26 right here, obviously with a base plate. But look at the overall length of this handgun versus the 26, right? So just a little bit longer, but also this is going to be a little bit shorter, the Girsan I'm saying, in terms of a Glock 19. On top of that, you have that longer barrel length. For instance, the Glock 26 is only a 3.43-inch barrel. But look at that. When we go slide to slide, look at how much longer that barrel is. And when we go frame to frame, look at that. So overall, if you're going slide to slide, it's about the same length as a Glock 26 and a bit thinner. But you're getting a much longer barrel. Much longer. Which is actually pretty nice for self-defense. And why does that really matter for a handgun like this? Being 13 plus 1 of 380 ACP. If you get a 380 ACP, they're good quality, in a good quality gun, you're going to be just fine. Now, when do I carry 380? One, after I had double wrist surgery, which you can see on the wrist, I carried a Smith & Wesson 380 Easy. Yes, it was only 8 plus 1 of 380, but it did have a little bit longer barrel, and everything was just that. It was easy. It allowed me to carry and shoot and train and clean a firearm that wouldn't mess up my wrists while doing it, right? That was a big thing for me. I didn't want my wrist to be permanently messed up, and it ruins my shooting going forward. So I did carry 380. Other times I carry 380 are just in firearms that make sense. I need deep concealment, or, I'm being active, I'll carry the LCP Max, or just the LCP 10th Anniversary Edition. Other times I carry 380 is in my Glock 42. It's just such an awesome, awesome handgun. Now, 380 with a 4-inch barrel is going to perform much better than something like an LCP, right? On top of that, with the defensive ammo that's out nowadays, it makes for a really good round. On top of that, being in a metal framed gun, 380 with a 4-inch barrel, there's no recoil in this gun. This handgun is so easy for people to shoot and manipulate. Now, they have a couple different models of this. I believe they might have the tip-up barrel. Don't quote me on that, but I do think they have the tip-up barrel version. And they might even have the double-action, single-action decocker version. Like I said, don't quote me, but I know there's a couple other models. This right here simply is single-action only with a, safety. Now, right here, we have mags that are made by Mekar. And for a lot of companies, Mekar is a lifesaver. For a lot of companies, they can't come up with a good, quality, reliable magazine. So when they outsource the Mekar, you start seeing a more reliable product. For instance, Taurus. Taurus were struggling for a bit, had really unreliable firearms for a long time. They switched over to Mekar, and boom, a lot of problems vanish. But I think recently they switched back to making their own mags, so we will see how that fans out. Now, overall, a really nice finish on it. It's actually pretty surprising for being a more budget-oriented firearm. Decent. Oh, sorry, I love Clementine, so my fault. 3-dot sights, they're not terrible. They are metal. They're just not, my preferred sight picture, but they work just fine. Not sure what you can swap these out for, or if there is anything else compatible. Now, obviously, this is a Beretta 84 clone. Like I said, this has 13 plus 1 of 380 ACP. Now, there's a couple things about this handgun I really like. First off is going to be the ergonomics. The ergonomics fit the hand really well. If you're looking for a handgun that has more room on the grip, you know, a lot of people don't like the Glock 26 because they can't get a full 3-finger contact. For something like that, you have guns like this. Now, you can get a full or almost full 3 fingers. And this little base plate that sticks out a little bit actually locks the fingers in really well. No undercut needed because it's not really designed like that. It's a nice rounded off trigger guard. And then on top of that, when you go from there, the texturing is actually pretty decent. It's not really stippling. What it is are just these lines that actually are, you know, pretty aggressive for what they are. Where you get the real texturing in the grip, though, is from the back. It actually fits your, no diddy. It actually fits the hand and feels really, really good. Like I said, though, no recoil. This thing being in 380 is flat as can be. Just like the Glock 25 I shot, you know, maybe 2 weeks ago. It's shocking when you have a 380 out of a larger handgun. 380 in a smaller handgun, extremely easy to shoot. People see a small pocket pistol and they're like, oh, there's no way you can shoot that good. That's not true. Pocket pistols are actually very smooth and flat. Even the small Springfield Armory XDS and 45 ACP that I'm carrying right now. Only 6 plus 1 of 45 ACP, but plenty to do the job. Now, and of course, all firearms safety checked and cleared part of the video. Now, rear serrations right here, no forward serrations. It has the exposed and open top to the slide for the barrel, which is nice, but at the same time could get, you know, gunked up or a little bit dirty. Not the biggest deal in the world, though. Then you have this nice, like, Cerakoted gray that actually looks really solid, actually. You can swap out your grips, which is nice, but I do like the way these feel, actually. Not bad whatsoever. Slide stop works really well and was made perfectly. As you can see, it just sticks out a tad bit, but is pretty rounded off in terms of snagging. You're not going to have that problem. Then we have the mag release that works really well. A lot of budget-oriented handguns struggle with slide stops actually dropping the slide, and they also struggle with magazine releases actually releasing the mag. Go figure, right? But like I said, good quality mags, good quality overall build. Now, the one thing that I always get a little nervous with, and you might want to check out, is polish that feed ramp a little bit. If you see, the barrel isn't on a tilted barrel action, therefore it's just straight forward. You do want to polish the feed ramp a little bit, as I did have one, failure to feed, maybe within the first couple mags. Ever since then, never a single issue. And this is a handgun my wife actually really enjoys shooting and really likes. Obviously, it's just too big for concealed carry. Now, mag release, I believe, might be ambidextrous, but these, slide stop is not, and obviously the safety is. So, almost fully ambidextrous, but not quite in terms of that slide stop. I'm pretty sure it is because if you look at the shape, it looks like you could just reverse it, but works really well. It is relatively built in, but at the same time, sticks out a little bit, but it's relatively snag-free as it is rounded off. As you can see right there, it sticks out a lot, just at the camera stand, but if you are pressing it, you can almost hit it anywhere, and it's going to release that mag, which is really, really nice. Now, my second favorite part about the gun, other than the way it feels in the hand, this trigger, right? So obviously, you'd run it cocked and locked. You know, you go to draw, and boom. You just got to make sure you do that if you're not used to single-action guns or manual safeties and so on. So obviously, you would drop that, and check out this trigger. There's literally nothing there. No sponge, nothing. No grit. Wall. Crisp and clean, right? Reset. Let's watch that reset again. Unbelievable trigger on this handgun. A really, really nice shooting pistol. Really nice. And for 13 plus 1, that's 14 round capacity. It's a great way to go, especially people who want a softer shooting gun. They want a really nice trigger and a flat shooting pistol for concealed carry. Like I said, it's not quite the size of a full-on compact, but at the same time, it's a little bit bigger than something like a Glock 26 or subcompact. Just another great option out there for everyday carry for people. Just wanted to put it out there. And yeah, we will continue testing this thing and see how she continues to run. That's the Girsan MC14 G84 Beretta clone. Thanks for watching, guys.